My name is Sophie Taylor, and I'm about to tell you about the Christmas that changed everything. The Christmas I finally said no. The Christmas that cost me my family, or maybe saved me from them. I'm still not entirely sure which one it is. But let me back up, because this story doesn't start on Christmas. It starts way before that, in a pattern so old I didn't even recognize it was there. It was a Tuesday afternoon in early December when my phone rang. I was at work, sitting in my tiny cubicle at the accounting firm where I'd been grinding away for the past 3 years. The name on the screen made my stomach tighten before I even answered. Mom. I should have let it go to voicemail. I really should have. But that old conditioning kicked in, the one that says good daughters always answer when their mothers call. So I swiped to accept. Sophie, honey, I'm so glad I caught you. Her voice had that syrupy tone that I'd learned to recognize as a warning sign. It was the voice she used when she wanted something. Hey, Mom. What's up? Well, I was just finalizing our Christmas plans, and I wanted to confirm you'll be watching the kids again this year. Your sister and brother are both bringing their families, of course, and we adults really need some time to actually enjoy the holiday. You know how it is. I blinked at my computer screen, my fingers frozen over the keyboard. Wait, what? Mom, I never said I'd babysit this year. There was a pause. Then a laugh, not a real one, but that forced little chuckle that said she thought I was joking. Sophie, don't be silly. You always watch the kids on Christmas. It's what you do. You're the only one without children of your own, so it just makes sense. My jaw clenched. The kids. 5 of them, ranging from 18 months to 8 years old. My older sister Amanda had 3, Jackson, Riley, and baby Emma. My younger brother Travis had twin boys, Mason and Carter, who were barely potty trained and had more energy than a nuclear reactor. And somehow, every single holiday for the past 4 years, I'd been the one corralling them while everyone else drank wine, played board games, and acted like they were at a resort instead of a family gathering. Mom, I actually made plans this year. I booked a trip. Another pause, this one heavier. Plans? What kind of plans? I'm going to Vermont. There's a cabin I've been wanting to rent for years, and I finally pulled the trigger. It's in the mountains, totally secluded. I'm leaving Christmas Eve morning. I could practically hear her brain recalibrating, searching for the right angle of attack. Sophie, you can't be serious. We've been counting on you. Everyone's expecting you to be here. How are we supposed to manage 5 children without you? The same way every other parent manages their own children, Mom. Amanda and Travis can watch their own kids. That's not fair. Her voice shifted, taking on that wounded quality that had made me feel guilty since I was 6 years old. They work so hard all year. They deserve a break. And you, well, you have so much more flexibility. No husband, no kids, no real responsibilities tying you down. Surely you can reschedule. No real responsibilities. Those words hit me like a punch to the gut. As if my job didn't matter. As if my life didn't matter. As if the only thing that counted as a real responsibility was having pushed a baby out of your body. I'm not rescheduling, Mom. I already paid for the cabin. It's non-refundable. Then get a refund. Sophie, I don't understand why you're being so difficult about this. It's Christmas. Family comes first. You know that. I closed my eyes, feeling that old familiar weight settling onto my shoulders. The weight of expectations. The weight of being the flexible one, the helpful one, the one who was supposed to sacrifice everything because my life somehow mattered less than everyone else's. I'm not being difficult, I said quietly. I'm just not available this year. Not available. She repeated it like I just told her I was joining a cult. Sophie Marie Taylor, I raised you better than this. When your family needs you, you show up. That's what we do. That's what love looks like. Then maybe Amanda and Travis should show up for their own children. The line went silent. For a moment, I thought she'd hung up. Then her voice came back, colder than I'd ever heard it. I'm very disappointed in you. I thought I could count on you. I thought you understood what it means to be part of this family. But I suppose I was wrong. And then she did hang up. I sat there, staring at my phone, my heart pounding. Part of me wanted to call back, to apologize, to say of course I'd cancel my trip and do what I'd always done. But another part of me, a part that had been growing stronger and angrier with each passing year, wanted to throw my phone across the room. I didn't call her back. Instead, I called my best friend Rachel. She actually said, "You have no real responsibilities?" Rachel's voice was sharp with indignation. Sophie, that's insane. You have a full-time job. You have a life. Apparently not one that counts. I was pacing my apartment now, too agitated to sit still. And the worst part is, Rachel, I almost gave in. I almost called her back and canceled Vermont. How messed up is that? It's not messed up. It's conditioning. Your family has been using you as free childcare for years, and they've convinced you that it's your job, that you owe them something. I sank onto my couch, suddenly exhausted. Maybe I do owe them. They're my family. Family doesn't mean indentured servitude, sophomore. When's the last time any of them asked how you were doing? When's the last time they showed up for you? I opened my mouth to answer and realized I couldn't. When had they? My college graduation? No, Amanda had been too pregnant to make the trip. My promotion last year? Travis had forgotten entirely, and Mom had said something vague about being proud before immediately changing the subject to Emma's first steps. They take you for granted, Rachel continued, and they're going to keep doing it until you make them stop. I don't know if I can. You can. You just did. You told your mom no. That's huge, Sophie. Don't let her guilt you out of it. But even as Rachel said it, my phone started buzzing again. Text messages, coming in rapid-fire succession. Amanda ***, Mom told me you're bailing on Christmas. Really, Sophie? We've been planning around you being there. Asterisk. Travis ***, dude, what's the deal? Mom's freaking out. Just watch the kids like you always do. It's not that big of a deal. Asterisk. Mom ***, I hope you're happy. You've ruined Christmas for everyone. Your sister is in tears. But I suppose that doesn't matter to you. Asterisk. I felt my throat tighten, tears burning behind my eyes. This was how it always happened. One of them would ask for something, I'd try to push back, and then they'd all pile on until I crumbled under the weight of their collective disappointment. But then I looked at my laptop, at the confirmation email for the Vermont cabin sitting in my inbox. I'd saved for months to afford it. I'd spent hours researching, reading reviews, planning what I'd do with 4 days of complete solitude. 4 days where no one needed anything from me. 4 days where I could just breathe. I wasn't giving that up. Not this time. I typed out a single response to the group chat. Asterisk, I never agreed to babysit this year. I have plans. You all have the whole rest of the year to figure out childcare for your own children. I'm sure you'll manage. Asterisk. Then I muted the conversation and put my phone face down on the coffee table. The next few days were a special kind of torture. My phone buzzed constantly with calls and texts that I mostly ignored. The few I did read were variations on the same theme. I was selfish, I was immature, I was letting everyone down. But then something shifted. My cousin Lauren called. Sophie, I heard about the Christmas thing. I just wanted to say, good for you. I nearly dropped my phone. What? Good. For you. Lauren's voice was firm. I've been watching them treat you like the family servant for years, and it's been making me sick. They're mad because you're not playing along anymore. Lauren, they're acting like I committed some cardinal sin. Mom literally told me I ruined Christmas. Yeah, well, Mom told me I ruined Thanksgiving 3 years ago when I brought my girlfriend instead of this nice young man she tried to set me up with. She'll get over it. And if she doesn't, that's her problem, not yours. Something in Lauren's voice, the absolute certainty of it, made something click in my brain. Can I ask you something? I said slowly. Do you remember the last 5 Christmas dinners? Was I always watching the kids? Sophie, you didn't just watch them during dinner. You watched them the entire day. Every year, you'd show up early to help set up, then you'd spend the whole time in the playroom or outside with the kids while everyone else socialized. Then you'd help clean up after they all left. I honestly don't think I've seen you sit down for a full meal at a family holiday in years. My hand tightened on the phone. Why didn't you say anything? I did. Once. Your mom told me you were just so good with kids and you didn't mind. And when I pushed back, Amanda jumped in and said you'd volunteered. That you loved spending time with your nieces and nephews. I never volunteered, I whispered. They just started assuming. And then it became expected. Exactly. And now you're breaking the pattern, and they're losing their minds because they actually have to be parents during the holiday. Sophie, I'm telling you this as someone who loves you. Don't back down. They need to learn this lesson. After we hung up, I did something I'd never done before. I went through my photos from past Christmases. Really looked at them. Lauren was right. In every single photo from the last 4 years, I was either holding a child, feeding a child, or conspicuously absent from the frame, presumably because I was dealing with a meltdown or a diaper change or breaking up a fight. In the background of these photos, I could see everyone else. Mom and Dad on the couch, glasses of wine in hand. Amanda and her husband Mark playing cards at the kitchen table. Travis and his wife Jen laughing at something on Jen's phone. Not a single child in sight in those shots. Because I had all 5 of them. I'd been so deep in it, so used to the role, that I hadn't even noticed I'd become invisible. The built-in babysitter. The unpaid labor. The person who made everyone else's relaxation possible. And I'd never been thanked. Not once. I opened my laptop and started a document. I titled it Christmas Evidence and began to compile everything. Screenshots of text messages where my family had just informed me I'd be watching the kids. Never asking, always telling. Photos where I was the only one actively parenting. Even old calendar entries where I'd had to cancel plans because of family obligations that always seemed to involve childcare. I didn't know what I'd do with this document. But something about seeing it all laid out in black and white made the anger that had been simmering inside me crystallize into something harder. Something that felt like resolve. The week before Christmas, things got worse. Amanda showed up at my apartment unannounced. I opened the door to find her standing there with Emma on her hip, her face flushed and angry. "We need to talk." I stood aside to let her in, my stomach already knotting. Amanda wasn't just my older sister. She'd been something like a second mother growing up, especially after Dad checked out emotionally when I was in middle school. Her approval had always mattered to me more than almost anyone's. She set Emma down in my living room, and my niece immediately toddled over to my bookshelf and started pulling volumes onto the floor. Amanda didn't stop her. "Mom is having a breakdown over this, Sophie. An actual breakdown. She's been crying every day. Is that what you wanted?" I didn't want anything except to take a vacation I planned and paid for. During Christmas. You planned a vacation during the one time of year when family actually matters. Family matters all year, Amanda. Or it should. When's the last time any of you asked how I was doing? When's the last time you invited me to something that didn't require me to provide free childcare? Amanda's face hardened. "So this is about money. You want us to pay you to spend time with your own nieces and nephews? That's sick, Sophie. That's actually sick. It's not about money. It's about respect. It's about being asked instead of told. It's about not being treated like an appliance that you only remember exists when you need it to function." God, listen to yourself. You sound like a selfish brat. Mom was right. You've changed. You've become so self-centered, so obsessed with your own little life that you can't see how you're hurting people who love you. Emma chose that moment to knock over a framed photo, and it hit the hardwood floor with a crack. Amanda glanced at it but didn't move to pick it up or check if Emma was near the broken glass. I did. I scooped up Emma, checked her hands and feet for cuts, and carried her to the couch. Then I grabbed paper towels to clean up the glass. Amanda watched me with her arms crossed, and when I looked up at her, I saw something that made my blood run cold. She looked satisfied, as if I'd just proven her point. "You're good at that," she said. "Taking care of things. Taking care of kids. It's what you do best. Why are you trying to pretend you're something you're not?" "What am I pretending to be?" "Someone important. Someone with a real life. Sophie, you're 29 years old, you're single, you work a boring office job, and you live in a one-bedroom apartment. What exactly are you rushing off to Vermont for? It's not like you have anyone waiting for you. It's not like you have anything better to do." The words landed like physical blows. Each one targeted at the insecurities I'd carried for years, the worry that my life was somehow less than because it didn't include a husband and children. The fear that I was running out of time, falling behind, failing at the things that were supposed to matter. "Get out," I heard myself say. "What?" "Take Emma and get out of my apartment. Now." Amanda's eyes widened. "Sophie." I said, "Get out." My voice cracked, but I didn't care. "You came here to bully me into submission, and it's not going to work. I'm going to Vermont. You can either accept that or don't, but either way, I'm done being your emotional punching bag." For a moment, I thought she might actually hit me. Her face went red, her hands clenched into fists. But then she grabbed Emma, roughly enough that the baby started crying, and stormed toward the door. She paused in the doorway, her voice shaking with fury. "When Mom cuts you off, when this family moves on without you, don't come crying to us. You're making your choice, Sophie. Live with it." The door slammed hard enough to rattle the frame. I stood there in my apartment, surrounded by broken glass and scattered books, and realized I was shaking. Not with fear. With rage. I pulled out my phone and called the cabin rental company. "Hi, this is Sophie Taylor. I have a reservation for Christmas Eve through the 28th. I'd like to add the travel insurance." "Yes, I know I'm calling late. I don't care what it costs." Christmas Eve morning arrived cold and clear. I woke up at 5 a.m., too anxious to sleep, and started loading my car. I'd packed light, clothes, books, my laptop, and enough groceries to last the whole trip. The plan was to leave before dawn and be in Vermont by early afternoon. My phone started ringing at 6 a.m. "Mom." I declined the call. It rang again immediately. This time I turned it off completely and tossed it into my purse. I was pulling out of my apartment complex parking lot when I saw the car blocking the exit. My mother's silver Honda, parked sideways across the driveway. She got out as I approached, and I could see she'd been crying. Her makeup was smeared, her hair uncombed. She looked smaller somehow, older than I'd ever seen her. I rolled down my window. Move your car, Mom. Sophie, please. Please don't do this. I'm begging you. I'm going to Vermont. You need to move. I'll pay you. The desperation in her voice was startling. Is that what you want? I'll pay you to watch the kids. Name your price. This isn't about money. Then what is it about? What do you want from me? I looked at my mother, really looked at her. When had she become this person? This manipulator who used guilt and tears and ambushes to get her way? Or had she always been like this, and I'd just been too well trained to notice? I want you to move your car so I can leave for my vacation. That's all I want. You're destroying this family. No, Mom. I'm just refusing to be destroyed by it. Something flickered across her face then. Surprise, maybe, or recognition. For a brief moment, I thought she might actually understand. Might actually see me as a person instead of a function. But then her expression hardened. If you leave, don't bother coming back. I mean it, Sophie. You walk away from us today, and you're walking away permanently. There's no coming back from this. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. This was it. The ultimatum I'd always known was coming. Choose them or choose myself. Sacrifice or exile. I'd spent my whole life trying to avoid this moment. Trying to be good enough, accommodating enough, selfless enough to never have to make this choice. But here it was anyway. Goodbye, Mom. I put my car in reverse, backed up, and drove across the grass median to get around her car. In my rearview mirror, I could see her standing in the middle of the parking lot, watching me go. I didn't look back again. The cabin was everything I'd hoped it would be. Rustic but comfortable, perched on a hillside overlooking a frozen lake. There was a fireplace, a fully stocked kitchen, and most importantly, no cell service unless I drove 15 minutes down the mountain to the main road. I spent Christmas Eve building a fire, making myself hot chocolate, and reading a novel I'd been trying to finish for 6 months. No interruptions. No demands. Just silence and stillness and the crackle of burning wood. It was perfect. It was also lonely. I thought about my family constantly. Wondered if they were managing okay. Wondered if Mom had made good on her threat. Wondered if I just burned down 29 years of relationships for 4 days of peace. But I didn't turn on my phone to check. Not yet. Christmas morning, I woke up naturally. No alarm, no crying babies, no urgent texts. I made myself pancakes and bacon, ate breakfast while watching snow fall outside the window, and tried to figure out how I felt. Guilty. Definitely. That conditioning ran deep. But underneath the guilt was something else. Something that felt almost like pride. I'd done it. I'd actually said no and followed through. For the first time in my life, I'd chosen myself over the family obligation machine. It should have felt worse than it did. Around noon, I drove down to the main road to check my phone. Part of me hoped there'd be an apology waiting. Some acknowledgement that they'd pushed too hard, asked too much. Instead, there were 83 text messages and 42 missed calls. I scrolled through them, my stomach sinking with each new message. Mom ***, you've ruined everything. The kids are crying. Amanda is having a panic attack. Travis and Jen are fighting. This is all your fault. Amanda ***, I hope you're happy. We're all miserable, and it's because of your selfishness. Travis ***, Mom had to cancel her plans because someone has to watch these demons spawn. Thanks a lot. Aunt Carol ***, your mother is heartbroken. How could you do this to her? Dad ***, this is too much drama, Sophie. Just come home and apologize. On and on and on. A Greek chorus of blame and recrimination, all centered on one simple fact. I wasn't there to make their lives easier. But then I saw a message from Lauren. Don't read the group chat. Just don't. Call me when you can. I called her. Sophie. Thank God. I've been trying to reach you. I've been off grid. What's happening? Lauren laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. Oh, it's a disaster. Full meltdown. Your mom tried to wrangle all 5 kids by herself for about an hour before she started calling everyone in the family to come help. Half the relatives hung up on her. Dad retreated to his workshop. Amanda and Mark got into a huge fight because Mark said he was done parenting for the day and Amanda said that was his job. Travis and Jen left entirely, just packed up the twins and drove home. It's chaos, sophomore. Beautiful, karmic chaos. I should have felt vindicated. Instead, I just felt tired. Lauren, did I do the right thing? Are you seriously asking me that? Sophie, you set a boundary. A healthy, normal boundary. The fact that your family is imploding over it just proves how dysfunctional the whole system was. They built their holiday plans on your unpaid labor and got mad when the labor quit. But they're my family. Family is supposed to care about you, not just what you can do for them. Real question, do you think any of them would have done what you did for them? Would Amanda cancel a vacation to watch someone else's kids? Would Travis? I already knew the answer. After we hung up, I sat in my car for a long time, watching the snow fall on the empty mountain road. My phone was still buzzing with incoming messages, but I didn't look at them. Instead, I drove back to the cabin, turned off my phone, and spent the rest of Christmas reading, cooking, and trying to remember who I was outside of my role as the family's perpetual babysitter. I drove home on December 28th with a sense of dread sitting heavy in my chest. I'd spent 4 days in blissful isolation, but I couldn't stay in Vermont forever. Eventually, I had to face the consequences of my choice. My apartment looked exactly as I'd left it. No angry notes on the door, no signs of forced entry. Just my small, quiet space waiting for me. I turned on my phone and waited for the avalanche. It came immediately. Voicemails, texts, emails, all variations on the theme of how I destroyed Christmas and needed to apologize. But there was one message that stood out, sent just 2 hours earlier. Mom ***, we need to talk. Come to the house tomorrow at noon. This can't continue. ***. My first instinct was to ignore it. My second was to send back a sarcastic response. But what I actually did was call Rachel. She wants to meet? Rachel sounded skeptical. Sophie, that sounds like an ambush. Probably. But I can't avoid them forever. You can if they're going to abuse you. I don't think they will. Or, I don't know. Maybe I need to face them. End this for real. Rachel was quiet for a moment. If you're going to go, don't go alone. Take someone with you. Me, Lauren, anyone. Just don't let them gang up on you. I can handle it. That's what I'm afraid of. You can handle it because you've been handling it your whole life. Sometimes the brave thing isn't handling it, sophomore. Sometimes it's walking away. But I'd already made up my mind. I arrived at my parents' house at exactly noon on December 29th. My dad's truck was in the driveway, along with Amanda's minivan and Travis's SUV. They'd called in the whole family for this. My hand was shaking as I knocked on the door. Mom answered, her face carefully neutral. Come in. The living room looked like a courtroom. Mom and Dad sat on the couch. Amanda and Travis occupied the armchairs. I was directed to a dining room chair that had been brought in and placed in the center of the room, facing them all. It would have been funny if it wasn't so disturbing. Sophie, Mom began, her voice tight with control, we asked you here because we need to address what happened over Christmas. Your actions. Stop. The word came out harder than I intended. Before we go any further, I need you all to understand something. I didn't do anything wrong. Amanda scoffed. You abandoned your family during the holidays. You let us all down. I took a vacation. A vacation I planned and paid for. That's not abandonment. You knew we were counting on you, Travis interjected. You knew the plan. I knew your plan. I never agreed to it. There's a difference. Mom's face flushed. Don't split hairs, Sophie. You've watched the kids every Christmas for years. It was understood. It was assumed. By you. Without ever asking me if I wanted to do it or if I had other plans. Do you know how many holidays I've spent chasing toddlers around while you all relaxed? Do you have any idea how exhausting that is? Oh, please. Amanda's voice dripped with contempt. You act like it's such a hardship to spend time with your nieces and nephews. Most people would be grateful for the opportunity. Then why don't you spend time with them? They're your kids, Amanda. Your responsibility, not mine. We all have to help each other, Mom said firmly. That's what families do. Help goes both ways. When have any of you helped me? When have you shown up for me? Silence. I looked around the room at these people I'd known my entire life, and suddenly I saw them clearly. Mom, who'd learned that guilt was more effective than asking. Amanda, who discovered that being the oldest meant she could delegate responsibility without consequence. Travis, who'd checked out of parenting entirely and expected everyone else to pick up the slack. And Dad, sitting silent in the corner, as he'd done for years, unwilling to challenge Mom or defend anyone who did. This was my family. This was what I'd been sacrificing myself for. I'm done, I said quietly. I'm done being the built-in babysitter. I'm done being treated like my life matters less because I don't have children. I'm done with all of it. So you're just going to abandon us? Mom's voice broke. After everything we've done for you? What have you done for me, Mom? I'm genuinely asking. In the last 5 years, what have you done for me that wasn't transactional? That wasn't about what I could give back. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Opened it again. Nothing came out. That's what I thought. I stood up, and Amanda lunged forward. Sit down. We're not done. Yes, we are. If you walk out that door, Mom started. What? You'll disown me? You already threatened that, remember? In the parking lot, when you tried to physically stop me from leaving. You already chose this path, Mom. I'm just accepting it. I walked to the door, my heart pounding. I was waiting for someone to stop me, to say something that would make this okay. An apology. An acknowledgement. Anything. But there was only silence. I left. The next 3 weeks were strange. I kept expecting to feel worse, to collapse under the weight of guilt and loss. Instead, I felt lighter, freer. Like I'd been carrying a boulder on my back for years and had finally set it down. Rachel took me out for New Year's Eve. We went to a party thrown by one of her coworkers, and for the first time in years, I didn't spend the countdown to midnight on my phone, checking anxious messages from my family about when I'd arrive or when I'd leave to help with something. I just celebrated. Just existed in the moment. Lauren called me on January 3rd. You need to hear this. What? I had lunch with your mom today. I don't know how to describe it. She's not herself. What do you mean? She's still angry, but there's something else there too. I think she actually realizes she messed up. She kept asking me questions about you, how you were doing, if you were okay, if I thought you'd ever forgive her. It was weird, sophomore. Almost like she finally understands what she lost. Understanding and changing are two different things. I know. But I thought you should know she's thinking about you. Not in the angry way. In the sad way. I didn't know what to do with that information. Part of me wanted to call her, to bridge the gap, to make things okay again. But the other part, the part that had spent 4 peaceful days in Vermont, knew that going back would mean falling back into old patterns. I couldn't do that. Not again. It was mid-January when my dad called. Not my mom, not Amanda or Travis. My dad, who'd said maybe 10 words to me during the Christmas confrontation. Sophie, I need you to meet me somewhere. Just you and me. No one else knows I'm calling. Dad, I don't think. Please. I'm not trying to ambush you or change your mind about anything. I just need to talk to you. Please. Something in his voice made me agree. We met at a diner halfway between my apartment and my parents' house. Dad was already there when I arrived, sitting in a corner booth with 2 cups of coffee. He looked older than I remembered. Grayer. More tired. Thanks for coming, he said as I slid into the seat across from him. What is this about? He was quiet for a long moment, just staring at his coffee. Then, finally, I owe you an apology. A big one. I hadn't expected that. For what? For everything. For not standing up for you. For letting your mother and your sister run roughshod over your boundaries for years. For sitting there during that meeting in December and not saying a damn word while they attacked you. He looked up, and I was shocked to see tears in his eyes. I've been a coward, Sophie. And you've paid the price for it. My throat tightened. Dad! I need you to know something. Your mother isn't a bad person. She's so used to being in control, to having things go her way, that she doesn't know how to handle it when someone says no. Especially someone she loves. And Amanda learned that behavior from her. And Travis learned to disappear from me. We built this system, and you got trapped in it. I'm not trapped anymore. No, you're not. And that scares your mother to death. Because if you can leave, if you can set boundaries and survive, what does that say about the rest of us? I didn't have an answer for that. Your mother asked me to convince you to come back, Dad continued. To apologize and smooth things over so everything can go back to normal. But I can't do that. Because normal was wrong, Sophie. Normal was using you until you broke. And I'm not going to be part of that anymore. What are you saying? I'm saying I support you. I support your decision to step back. And I'm going to tell your mother that if she can't treat you with respect, then she's going to lose both of us. I stared at him, stunned. Dad, you don't have to. Yeah, I do. I should have done it years ago. I let her turn our family into something I don't even recognize. But that ends now. He reached across the table and took my hand. You're my daughter. Not my babysitter, not my obligation handler, not my anything except my daughter. And I love you. I should have said that more. I was crying now, ugly messy tears that I couldn't control. When was the last time my father had told me he loved me? When was the last time any of them had seen me as anything other than a solution to their problems? I love you too, Dad. We sat there for a while, drinking terrible diner coffee and not saying much, but it was the most connected I'd felt to my father in years. When we finally left, he hugged me tight. Give your mom some time. She'll come around. Or she won't. But either way, you've got me. My mother called 3 weeks later. I almost didn't answer. I'd grown comfortable with the silence, with not having to navigate her emotional landmines. But something made me pick up. Hi, Mom. Sophie. Her voice was different, softer, less certain. Do you have a few minutes to talk? I'm listening. I've been doing a lot of thinking. About Christmas. About everything, really. And I need to say something to you. I braced myself for another guilt trip, another manipulation. But what came next surprised me. I'm sorry. 2 words I'd never heard my mother say to me. Not once in 29 years. I'm sorry for how I treated you. For taking you for granted. For assuming you'd always be there to make my life easier without ever asking if that's what you wanted. Your father helped me see some things I didn't want to see about myself. About how I've been as a mother to you. My hand tightened on the phone. Mom. Let me finish, please. She took a shaky breath. I've spent weeks being angry at you. Furious, really. But the truth is, I wasn't angry at you. I was angry at myself. Because you were right. About all of it. I did treat you like a built-in babysitter. I did dismiss your life as less important. And I did that because it was convenient for me. Because it meant I didn't have to enforce boundaries with Amanda and Travis. Because it meant I could play the fun grandma without actually doing the hard work. I didn't know what to say. This wasn't the script I'd been expecting. I can't promise I'll be perfect going forward, she continued. I'm 63 years old, and I've been doing things my way for a long time. But I can promise to try, to ask instead of assume, to respect your time and your choices. And if I slip up, when I slip up, I want you to call me on it. Can you do that? I don't know if I can trust this, I admitted. It feels too easy. It's not easy. Trust me, admitting I was wrong to your father, to Lauren, and now to you, it's the hardest thing I've done in years. But losing you is harder. Sophie, you're my daughter. I don't want to lose you over my own stubbornness. What about Amanda and Travis? Mom sighed. They're not there yet. Amanda is still angry. Travis honestly doesn't care that much. He just goes along with whatever his wife wants. But that's not your problem to fix. That's mine. I need to have some hard conversations with your sister about entitlement and with your brother about being an engaged parent. Good luck with that. I know. But Sophie, can we try? Can we start over, just the two of us? Maybe coffee next week? No expectations, no agenda. Just talking. I thought about Vermont. About the silence and the peace and the absence of obligation. I thought about how good it had felt to choose myself. But I also thought about my dad at that diner, crying and apologizing. About Lauren checking in on me constantly. About the fact that family wasn't just the people who hurt you, it was also the people who tried to do better. Coffee sounds okay, I said finally. But Mom, if this is just a way to ease me back into babysitting. It's not. I swear to you, it's not. If we ever need help with the grandkids again, I will ask you explicitly, I will give you plenty of notice, and I will pay you. Properly. Because you're right, it's work, and work should be compensated. But more than that, your time is valuable, Sophie. You're valuable. And I should have been treating you that way all along. We talked for a few more minutes, tentatively, carefully. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't even comfortable. But it was honest in a way our conversations had never been before. After we hung up, I sat on my couch for a long time, thinking. Coffee with my mom turned into lunch. Lunch turned into a monthly standing date. It wasn't the same as before. We weren't as close, weren't as easy with each other. But there was a respect there now that had never existed. She kept her promise. When she needed help with the grandkids, she asked. With notice. With gratitude. And when I said no, she accepted it without guilt trips. It was bizarre, honestly. Like learning to have a mother for the first time at 30 years old. Amanda and I barely spoke. She sent a terse apology via text 2 months after the Christmas incident, something that read more like a hostage note than genuine remorse. I accepted it politely but didn't push for more. Some relationships, I was learning, weren't worth saving just because they were family. Travis surprised me by calling in March. Hey, sophomore. I wanted to say I'm sorry for how everything went down. Which part? All of it. The babysitting stuff, the guilt trips, calling you dramatic. Jen and I have been in couples therapy, and our therapist asked us about our support systems. When I described how we used to rely on you for childcare, she asked if we'd ever actually asked you or if we just expected it. And I realized, we just expected it. We treated you like a service, not a person. Yeah, you did. I'm sorry. Really. I don't expect you to forgive me or anything. I just wanted you to know I get it now. What we did was wrong. It wasn't the dramatic reconciliation I might have fantasized about, but it was something. A small step toward a healthier dynamic. By the time next Christmas rolled around, everything had shifted. I spent the holiday with Rachel's family, chaotic and loud and wonderful in a way my own family gatherings had never been. No one expected anything from me except my presence. No one handed me a baby the moment I walked in the door. It was glorious. My mom called on Christmas Eve. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas, honey. I hope you're having a good time with Rachel's family.
I am.
How's your day going? Well, it's chaos. Amanda's kids have been fighting all morning, and Travis's twins broke an ornament. But you know what? It's manageable. We're figuring it out.
That's good, Mom. It is.
I mean, I won't lie. I missed having you here. But not as a babysitter. I just missed my daughter. I hope you know the difference.
I do. Good.
Well, I'll let you go. Love you, Sophie.
Love you too.
After we hung up, Rachel poked her head into the guest room where I was staying. Everything okay? Yeah, I said, and meant it. Everything's actually okay. It's been a year and a half since that Christmas when I finally said no. A year and a half since I walked away from expectations and guilt and the role I'd been trapped in since my early 20s. My relationship with my family isn't perfect. Amanda and I are cordial but distant. Travis makes an effort, which is more than I expected. My dad and I are closer than we've ever been. And my mom, she's trying. Really trying. Some days she succeeds, and some days she slips back into old patterns. But the difference is that now she catches herself, apologizes, and adjusts. It's not the family I wish I'd had, but it's becoming the family I can live with. I'm planning another trip to Vermont this Christmas. Mom knows about it. She didn't ask me to cancel or offer to pay me to stay. She just said, "That sounds lovely. Send pictures." That's progress. People ask me sometimes if I regret walking away, if I think I overreacted or was too harsh. And the truth is, I don't. Because that Christmas, that choice to finally put myself first, taught me something crucial about love and family and self-respect. Real love doesn't require self-destruction. Real family doesn't demand martyrdom. And self-respect isn't selfish, it's survival. I'm 31 now. Still single, still in my one-bedroom apartment, still working my boring office job. But I'm also happier than I've been in years. Because I'm not living for everyone else anymore. I'm not the built-in babysitter or the family's emotional support animal or the person who exists to make everyone else's life easier. I'm just Sophie. Sophie Taylor. A person with boundaries and plans and a life that matters, not because of what I can do for others, but because it's mine. And you know what? That's enough. That's more than enough. It's everything. If you're watching this and you recognize yourself in my story, if you're the person your family always calls when they need something, the one who's expected to sacrifice without question, the built-in solution to everyone else's problems, I want you to know something. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to have boundaries. You're allowed to prioritize your own life, your own plans, your own happiness. And if your family can't accept that, if they guilt you, manipulate you, or threaten to cut you off because you dare to be unavailable, then they're showing you exactly who they are. Believe them. It took me 29 years to learn that lesson. I hope it doesn't take you as long, because you deserve better. You deserve to be seen as a whole person, not just a function. You deserve respect, consideration, and genuine love, not just when you're useful, but always. Take it from someone who walked away and survived. The freedom on the other side of that boundary is worth every uncomfortable conversation, every guilt trip, every moment of doubt. You're worth it. And so is your peace. Thanks for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your experiences with family boundaries and standing up for yourself. Until next time, remember, you're not responsible for managing everyone else's life. You're only responsible for living your own. Take care.